Welcome to the support session. I'm going to mention the questions that I'm going to go over. And before we start, I'm going to share a couple of wins. Yay! So one of the questions is about momentum. This person had a one-on-one session with me, has a plan, and just, the momentum of keeping going back to the plan, basically actioning what they need to do, how to keep the momentum going. I have thoughts on that. Another person is doing a lot. They want to be known for a certain thing, and they are networking. They are on social media. They are building up their personal brand. I'll share my thoughts on whether this is the right way to go. What else? And somebody who keeps kicking themselves because they leave a meeting, they leave a situation, and they realized, I could have said this in a different way. Kick. Right? And then they can't let go of this idea of, I didn't get to show up as my best self. I wish I'd said it differently. But before we dive into that, I want to share with you a couple of wins. One of our members will be interviewed on TV for the thing that they have pivoted towards, for the thing that they want to be known for deliberately, which is a fantastic win. Hooray! If they are comfortable with us knowing when it'll go live, I'll let you know. Why not? Let us support each other. But yeah, brilliant news. Another member in the community is going to be speaking at a global event, I think this month. So that's another huge win. Hooray! And an announcement. I'm going to be interviewing somebody who I've worked with for decades. This person, this is the only person I trust totally when it comes to conferences. If I'm going to be moderating, speaking at, chairing, involved in a conference or an event, and this person, his name is David Plale, is involved, is producing it, then I say yes, no questions asked, because he is brilliant at what he does. And I'm going to be interviewing him. It'll be live, it'll be on LinkedIn, and it'll be on YouTube. I'll send you a recording. If you have any questions around the idea of, okay, I want to be a speaker at a conference, how do I do this in a way that captures people's attention from his perspective as somebody who has done this for 50 years, 50. What is it that makes a great, people really noticed, remembered a great session as opposed to boring vanilla, my brain has just gone dead. All right. So I'll share when this is happening. And in fact, I'll share it in the newsletter. Okay. So let's start. Okay, momentum. Momentum is a really tough one, isn't it? Because it's like going through the program and saying, I must do this, I must implement that, yes, yes, yes. The problem I find is that when we take on a lot at once, then it becomes overwhelming. So when there's this big picture of all the moving parts and how things slot together, it's great to have that plan. Yes, it's important. But it's about not consuming and looking at the big thing. It's about breaking it down into manageable, doable for you, because your life is unique to you. Maybe you have children, maybe you have parents that you need to look after, whatever that thing is. Maybe you have a job that means that you're traveling all the time, whatever that thing is. It's about making it doable for you. But my biggest wish for you is to learn by doing. That's why at the end of each module, there is a learn by doing bit, because it's useless going through lots of information, having it all, but not actioning it. So to get over this idea of being stuck, essentially, that's what this person is saying, that they can't keep the momentum up, they're stuck. When you're starting out, it's really tough because you're doing two things at the same time, at least. You're training yourself to show up in a different way, to change habits, to live and do things differently, but you're also training people around you to see you in a different light, to interact with you differently. And it's really tough, because both of these are huge tasks, but both of them together can make it overwhelming. So break it down. Remember, meet yourself where you're at, work with what you've got, be kind to yourself, the charter. I would say define one key, what I call power move for each day. Put it in your diary. This is my day for this. Maybe it's one thing that you want to be consistent with and build up before you move on to the next thing, but put it down. Put it down in your calendar, and whatever time you've selected, it could be an arbitrary time, or it could be a time that works best for you due to how you live, make it happen. So don't find an excuse. Don't go off and make a cup of tea like I do. drill down and make it happen. So that's a key way to keep momentum up. And it's by having little wins, meaning I did that. I showed up for myself, because ultimately that's what it's about. And if it's possible, set it up so that you are away from other people, away from everybody, away from people who will distract, disturb, but also pull you away. Even just their presence, we're walking in the room, pulls you back into previous you, or I need to be doing that you. So go to a room, a corridor, wherever, sit on the stairs. I mean, I sit on the staircase a lot when I need to just I'm out of here. Yeah. Create an enabling environment. Choose one thing that's doable. Specify a time. Show up for yourself and do it. That's what I can say. It's about building that momentum muscle. All right, I hope this helps. Okay, so what's the next thing? The next thing is, let's move on to the person who is a different person. Again, pivoting and really drilling down to this one thing they want to be known for. They're building up a business. And what they're doing at the moment is they are networking. They are building their personal brand. And there was another thing they were doing. Oh yeah, they're looking at advertising. Now, they haven't actually shared what they mean by that, but I'm assuming they're paying for adverts. I don't know. It's good to do this. It's important, obviously, these important building blocks for helping people, the right clients, find you for your business. But I would caution against doing them all at the same time for many reasons. It takes energy, money, time, effort, and you might be missing signals that you want to tune into. What do I mean? Imagine that you have created an advert, but you realize, actually, the way I said that here doesn't have the same traction as when I say it this way. So what I would say personally is use something like LinkedIn, use social media as your test bed. See what see what works for you, because sometimes when you try things out in a different way, it works for you. You know, the words, the way you put it, it resonates with the type of client that you want to pay you for your services in a different way. And you're not burning through money the same way that you would be if you were advertising your services. So to this person, I would say, don't do the scattergun. Don't do all of these things. Do one thing. Do it where you have the most traction with the right community for you, the people that will say yes to you and will buy your service. Personally, I love LinkedIn because it just allows you to experiment, see what people notice, what they ask you, what the traction is, and then use that as a template for your advertising. And the networking is great, yes. But again, when you network, what are you sending them to? Is it a specific landing page? Is it something very clear and thought out? Personally, it's about getting your messaging right and then going off and doing the other stuff. If you want to go to the networking sessions, then use it as an opportunity to do research, ask people questions, find out what their pain points are, what they want, in this case, for their child, because that's what the business is being built on for this person. Okay, now the third person, what was it? Oh yeah, ruminating and going over, kicking themselves, wishing they had said things in a different way, yeah? So what I would say is they need to go over a couple of the templates. Use the structure your message template. So you've gone through the previous steps, but the structure your message template, just have it embedded in your mind. What, so what, now what? What is it that I want to get across that will resonate with this person, this stakeholder? Why should they care? Remember, the why should they care is a key thing. It's the most important thing to start with. And then what can we do about it? So if you start structuring your thoughts in this way, when you're in a situation, that becomes your default way of asking, sharing, being present. And so when you say stuff, it's with that in mind. Now, there might be something that you're kicking yourself over because somebody said something to you that's not fair, that shows you up, that is not true. I don't know. You know what? Sometimes it's about letting go, meaning even in the moment, you could answer. Let me take a step back. If somebody's saying something that is detrimental to you, it is about you addressing it straight away. And in fact, if you don't address it, then you leave space for other people to fill in as they see fit. They'll start inventing reasons that that person's right about you, whatever. So if it's something that's not good for you, not good for your reputation, you address it, but again, from an elevated perspective. So you are factual, you are direct and not rude, essentially, but you address it. So this is your boundaried self showing up, meaning, wait a minute, you've overstepped a boundary. Let's reestablish that boundary, but also let's establish some facts around this, meaning if they're saying, if it's a fact around your performance, if it's a fact around something that happened, just be factist. Say it as it is, be matter of fact. And then the biggest challenge is letting go. When you leave the room, let go. The people who are able to let go further, because when you don't let go, it's like having an app open in your brain. It's just sucking energy. It's running in the background. It's not enabling you to function properly. So executive functioning and that sort of thing is compromised. So to this person, I would say, be a factist, respond absolutely if people are saying things about you. But my feeling from the comment is that you're annoyed because you're not saying things the way you could have to show up as your brilliant self. So the way you're saying things and sharing things and responding isn't your best way. Learn by doing, experiment, okay? Remind yourself, what is it that I really want to say? How can I showcase my brilliance? And share it and do it. When we are in these situations and we are aware of what's going on, like reminding yourself, this happened last time, I don't want it to happen this time, then you start experimenting with how to put things. Remember, you feel that there's a huge spotlight on you, but actually, people don't really notice that. It's you notice it about yourself. People, I'm sure, don't go around thinking that person, you, didn't show up as their best self. That person could have said this so much, more brilliantly. So be kind to yourself, let go, forgive yourself. But to give yourself the best chance, structure your message form and then the nail it checklist, the checklist where you've got your perspective, other people's perspective, and you go through it and you go through all of the bits that you fill in and just practice mode, the kind of thing that shows up for you. Take yourself through it with that checklist and experiment with how you will respond if this happens again. So it's really partly about you letting go of things that you need to let go of, but training yourself to think and communicate in a way that is different, where the checklists really come into their own and help a lot. Okay, so I hope that helps. Cool, so we've gone over keeping up momentum. We've gone over not scattergun approach and depleting your energy because you're doing everything at once. Choose one thing where you've got traction, the right potential client or audience for what you want to be doing now and next. Drill down on that, learn from it, and then implement what you learn in the other bits too. If you have the opportunity to ask your ideal client questions, absolutely, that is key. You go and you find out your stuff, ask them questions, and then use the answers to tweak what you're putting out, okay? So things like copy, things like LinkedIn posts. LinkedIn is brilliant. Just experiment with it, If you post something, tag me and I'll go and read it and comment. Now, we have the upcoming live with David Plale. If you're interested in finding out more about conferences, what makes a fantastic speaker from his perspective, tune in. I will share a link in this week's newsletter, okay? And show up. I'll show a link to the recording as well. But, if you can show up live, if you've got a question, post it to me in the... I'll send you a link to... I'll send you a reminder in the form for this week. If you have a question for him, then put it in the form and I will be sharing that question with him and asking him. Cool? If you have a win, share that with me too, so we can start like we did today at the top with our wins. Cool? Okay. Tomorrow, a reminder that Raise Your Profile is about drilling down to how you can use your LinkedIn profile as your personal brand, 24/7 agent, essentially. How can you tweak, use the options that are available in LinkedIn to raise your profile with your current go-to at the core? I hope you have found this interesting and useful. I will see you next time. Bye.